So I'm going to be explaining scenarios and situations that I'm experiencing at the moment. And I think that the audience is definitely going to be in for one. It's going to be a trip for them. All these whack people coming out saying, man, how come I dropped 100 songs, they ain't nobody cared about it. Be like, drop 3 songs and make them all dope. Because it's not dope, man.
Right.
It's not good. you dropping straight garbage and trying to make yourself seem like the bigger artist because you drop more records. Quality over quantity, man. And that's something that I feel like nobody can deny with me. Because, be damned if you pick a whack verse out of my track record, man.
I see you getting fired up a little bit here.
Nah, you can't because I put too much love into that.
Right.
And I'm not speaking subjectively. It's objectively. Like scientifically break down the verses that I put out. You cannot deny what's there.
What you believe sets you up for success is basically focusing on the right things.
You have to focus on the right things. You have to focus on like the right platforms. You have to figure out what you can do to take things further. Because I feel like a lot of times people, they stay in the same area, the same stagnant place. So for them, it's like I'm at a certain level, and if I keep rapping the way that I'm rapping, I'm gonna stay like this. And for me, I always think about new ways, try to be inventive. What can I do to take the brand further?
Right.
So I'm always thinking about which artist do I want to work with, which collaboration do I want to do, what platform do I want to, try to target. I'm always trying to think about ways that I can increase my brand. And I think that that's what people need to focus on. It's not so much I'm a dope rapper, but now you have to figure out how do you take the music that you're making and reach more people. I want to do something bigger next time. I want to take it to the next level next time. So I drop Man on a Mission independently, but the next thing they see me drop isn't going to be like that. It's going to be something else. Like I'm always looking at ways that I can keep expanding the Laz Army brand.
Man, I know like in my life personally, like every time I hit a level of success, it's like I get more addicted to it. I want more and more. So like when you were in med school and doing hip hop at the same time, it was like you said 18 to 20 hours or more per day. How many hours are you spending right now? Because I know you got a 12-hour shift, right?
Right, I work 12-hour shifts. Yeah, I work 12-hour shifts in the hospital, and then when I'm not working those 12-hour shifts,
So you're still putting in the 18 hours, right?
Still doing it. Yep, still doing it. Because I'm over here. It's just that now I'm in a situation where I don't have the stress. Now that I'm board certified as a physician, I don't have to worry about exams. I don't worry about tests.
Right.
So I just have to put in my work and see my patients and take care of them, make sure they're doing well. And when I'm done with that, I get to freely work on my music. So I definitely have more freedom now. It's not like I have shackles and chains the way that I had when I was in residency in med school.
Start at the beginning. Imagine a boy at the age of 7, living and raised in an Armageddon, whose dream of an American ghetto is heaven. There was no telling, and no one believing that he get his visa to fly to the States, but he got more eager to higher the stakes. So we in Detroit, and there I was born in Sinai Grace. Now I'm the face of a Kunta Kinte, strung up hunger.
We go at each other's heads in the studio. So there's some times where I think something needs, like I'll ask him over and over again. I'm like, hey, what about that word? What about that word? He's like, no, that word's straight. But then he'll point something else out rhythmically or something, and he'll be like, no, you got to do this one again. So we'll have to go back in the booth and we'll have to redo that particular rhythm, even though it sounded okay to me. But he was like, no, it's not connecting. The snare is not connecting with this and all this technical stuff that I'm not really into. But he helps me just master the rhythm on the delivery in the booth. And so it's a collaborative process, man. But we both want the same thing at the end of the day. We both want perfection. So when we go back and we listen to the verses on repeat, we look for any micro flaw. We're just not talking about regular flaws. We're looking for micro flaws in the verse. So I want to be able to listen to the verse from the very start to the very end and not have one single hitch throughout the whole verse. And it has to sound like, if I put this verse on 50 times in a row, then I will never even think about a single flaw in it. And that's the process. We want it to be perfection. I'm not, you know, my objective in hip hop isn't to make, you know, decent verses, good verses, great verses. I want perfection. Every time I drop a verse, I want it to represent perfection as best as possible. And working with a brother like Hugo, he really helps to nail that, because he's got the ear to make every sound match up the way it needs to match with the beat and make it sound as flawless as it needs to sound. So it's a fun process. I love coming to the studio and working with this guy, because I know that we're gonna walk away from the session at the end of the day with something that is gonna be a part of history.
Every single second, every single moment during the session, your attention has to be right there. You know, it has to be, you have to be able to understand what you're doing, what you're trying to say, and be able to match that to the energy of the existing track or the existing idea, you know? Because sometimes we have songs we have to mix what we have with other people's stuff already, you know? So we have to make sure that everything sounds like an entity, not like a separated collective experience, but also as a single punch.
Right. We even took the dialogue from Man on a Mission. We actually overdubbed the dialogue because it's so windy when we shot the intro sequence with Andy DeVoli. So we even took that, and Andy had his own file recorded in LA. And then I recorded my session here, and then we had to match it up to sound like we're in the same place.
They crossed us. Turned out to be some dirty, filthy brats.
Well, that was to be expected.
Oh man, well I mean we got a bunch of stuff coming out, but there's a record in particular that I'm gonna be focused on. Yeah, I can't really drop too many details about it, but it's just gonna be something that the audience has never heard before, because they're gonna literally go into my shoes when they hear that song. So, you know, whatever I'm describing in that song is me basically taking you into my world directly, like firsthand. I can see Lazarus does this or does that. And this one, you're literally in Lazarus's shoes. So for us to paint that picture and to do it in a way that people are going to be able to feel that, we definitely had to come together and make sure that the emotions and the intensity that as we're describing, as we're painting this picture, is in such a way that people can literally see that when they're listening to it. It's all in their head.
Longer neglected, I lost but protected to change the whole world on how hip hop's accepted.
I like it.
It's dope?
Yeah.
You want to do another run?
Music is my medicine. That's the name of the album, but that's also what I'm trying to get across as my point, is that music can be used in a therapeutic sense, and that when you listen to it, no matter what situation you're in life, the music can be a remedy to you to psychologically get you back on your feet. And that's part of what I do. I want to make sure that, you know, when people listen to the music, especially the words that I'm trying to, people that are, you know, pressed down in society, people that don't have a voice, people that feel helpless, people that feel hopeless, I want to be able to give them motivation in their life in some way and somehow. All they need to do is find the music and listen to it, and that's the purpose. I'm not in it for the material things. I'm in it to make an impact and to affect people's lives.
Let him start back. Hey, Hugo! Where's Hugo at? Start it back. All right.